southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. And today we got Zach Maddox on. He's out of Florida. We actually met him at the Ducks Expo. They were right across, like, kind of diagonal from us at the Frog Talks booth. They were over there selling coolers with their company. It's Eco Coolers, correct?
Yes, sir. Eco Outfitters.
Yep. So we're excited to have Zach on. Zach's a hunter, obviously, and we were just talking on TikTok, and I know he's doing this Ironman challenge and has this like awesome charity stuff lined up, and it's kind of an inspiration to hear about, honestly. So we're excited to dive into all that stuff. So Zach, thank you for taking the time to join us, man. Tell everybody a little bit about, who you are and where you're from and all that.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. I feel honored. Yeah, my name is Zach Maddox. I'm here in North Central Florida, born and raised. About an hour and 15 from Orlando, hour 15 from Gainesville. We're centrally located. Grew up hunting and fishing. That's kind of like where I find a lot of my peace. Was a fireman and a paramedic for 7.5 years. Now I work for the power company as a lineman. I do a lot of stuff. I'm on the board with Hooky Hero. They're a 501c3 that, offer mental health services for first responders and veterans that is 100% completely confidential, and it's all free. So we do peer support, professional therapy, and recreational therapy. And I volunteer with another nonprofit called Combat Vets to Careers, where they take combat veterans, help them transition from, combat vet to civilian life, help sponsor them, get them a job, get them a place to stay, kind of figure out what's next with them for their career step, kind of help sponsor that, get them in school, get them a job, kind of get them back on their feet, because, transitioning from, active duty to civilian is it's pretty tough. Sure. I don't personally know that. I've got a lot of friends and family that are military, and just seeing it. And they also do a lot of the mental health stuff. And so, yeah, between two nonprofits and work and hunting and fishing, I got a full plate on top of Ironman training now. So
it sounds
we're
like
burning at both ends, babe.
Yeah. It sounds like it, man. It's impressive. It's a lot of stuff to have on your plate. I saw, because when I followed you on Instagram, I guess you got your captain's license and you guide down there in Florida.
Yeah. So when I left the fire department, I made a promise to all of my guys that if I couldn't be with you on the front line, I'd fight for you on the sideline. So for me, battling a lot of my mental health stuff and having to kind of figure out a way to make myself sane again, I got back to my roots of hunting and fishing, and there's something about the outdoors that is just healing for the soul.
Yeah.
I love to duck hunt for the community and the friendship. I love to deer hunt because it heals my soul.
Yeah.
That quiet in the woods, watching God's creation wake up, my phone don't work, and it's just me and nature. There's something about that quiet that really makes you deal with a lot of stuff. Yeah, you got a lot of time to think and pray. And for me, I spend a lot of my time praying, not just bring that big old bruiser my way, Lord, but just a lot of self-reflection and a lot of thankfulness. I feel like, for me, the outdoors is a very humbling experience, because you're like, man, I am so small in this big old world.
Yeah.
And that's what brings me to it. So when I left the fire department, I was like, man, how healing this was for me. I need to do this for others. So I started a little Healing Heroes guide company where I got my captain's license, and I started taking first responders and veterans hunting and fishing for free, because I was like, look, man, hell yeah. If I can get you to come out and experience what I experienced and what helped me, like that's a huge win. So we'll go frog snatching, we'll go, red fishing, we'll go catch shell crackers on the lake bank or something. It's just being outside. We'll go for a hike. You want to go walk through the trail, that's what we'll do. But I just find so much healing getting away from this concrete jungle we live in, that more people need to experience it. So
well,
it's kind of
and sorry, Zach, I just want to jump in and just say one thing, just speaking from a veteran's perspective. And, it's in the same thing as a firefighter, any first responder. There's so much camaraderie with that realm, and even like professional sports, anything like that as the team sport, that there's something like whenever you're out with, friends, men and women in the outdoors, there's just nothing else going on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you really just get to breathe each other's spirits a little bit in a big way, like you don't get to do when everybody's busy at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's something there about that too that, I think is a very, it's something that I think people that have that camaraderie need that feeling like that, because it's so elevated at what you do when it's really important. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it's almost, it's, you're always searching for that adrenaline, that hyper focus, that, next thing that's going to get me going. And you get that a lot with the pursuit of, duck hunting or fishing or something. It's so distracting in your mind because you're so focused on that goal of like being a caveman. Like, we're here to eat, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The mortgage don't matter. We can figure that out tomorrow. We're here to catch some fish,
That's
we're
right.
here to put some backstrap on the table, baby.
Yes.
So
That's right.
I think that, you hit the nail on the head with that it's giving me that drive again. It's giving me that hyper focus, that almost, that adrenaline dump that you need, when you got a group working the deeks, my heart's pounding. I'm hyper focused. That's something that you just don't, like that's the closest you get to going into a fire again.
Yeah.
Is you got that big buck coming by, or you got them, ducks working them decoys and they're cupping in, and the calls are we're singing to them, baby, and it's working.
Yeah.
That sweet love music, and we're about to pull the trigger. It's so fast, man, and it's just it gets you fired up.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think you brought up a good point too about like the mental like clarity and peace and thinking and all that too, because there's so many times, especially as I get older, like I find myself like when I was younger, it was just kind of like you just take it for granted. You're just going hunting or whatever. But like the older I get, the more I'm like, I spend a Saturday out hunting or whatever and just driving back and forth, getting in the stand and just sitting there for hours, like being able to just think, and not even always just from the peace standpoint. That's a great, part of it. But just like I get ideas for stuff that I'm like, man, I don't ever have time to think like this. And that's why I don't ever think of anything. It's like, I feel like our culture, because we're so busy and fast paced all the time, like we don't ever give ourselves time to like be bored and like think of stuff and get that peace, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're surrounded by constant stimulation, phones, computers, laptops, podcasts, it's that truly for me, it's like that only time you just get that that quiet, real quiet. And you're like, oh man, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like impossible to think about something else whenever you're like in pursuit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing like I was talking about before, like professional sports, military, first responders, everybody. A lot of people don't know what it's like to be so engaged in what you do mentally that literally that's all you do. Like you sacrifice.
This fall, elevate your outdoor pursuits with Williamson Outfitters, offering professionally guided experiences along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Whether it's coastal duck hunting, inshore fishing, gator hunting, or flounder gigging, every Williamson Outfitters experience is guided by a seasoned, licensed captain, delivering world-class adventure with local expertise. From small private groups to large corporate retreats, our fleet of well-equipped boats and experienced guides deliver first-class outdoor adventures for sportsmen of all ages and experience levels. Call or text 850-251-8650 or visit www.floridaducks.com to book your trip. Williamson Outfitters, making the Forgotten Coast unforgettable.
So much of your time in life to what that professional thing is that it soul sucks you, buddy. And you give it all, but that's who you are, and that's okay. All right. I don't care if you're an NFL athlete, same thing. You live it, breathe it, that kind of thing. And then when you get to detach from that, I think that some of us that go through those and have those kinds of jobs and things like that, or push ourselves that much, means something deeper.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's just like, whew, so.
Well, it's like a healthy obsession.
It is.
In my opinion, it might not be healthy on the bank account, you know what I mean? But to me, it's a healthy obsession.
Yeah.
You're so right. It's just nothing else matters when it comes to that.
No.
It's something that it's just such a good escape.
It is.
It's something that we need.
It is.
It
is. And then you can eat meat and drink beer. If you drink beer.
It's fabulous.
It is.
I'm telling you, I don't think a Busch Light tastes better unless it's 3 a.m. in a duck blind.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat, dude. It is so hard to beat.
Dude.
That is true, man.
It is so hard to beat.
The only one that might be better than that is the post limit Busch Light.
Yes.
Or the post deer Busch Light.
Or picking up a 6,000 decoy spread at Arkansas in 78 degrees with the sun beating down on you type of Busch Light. That's a really good one.
I might need an IV for that one.
My wife does IVs. I wonder if you can get Busch Light IVs.
I don't know if I'd recommend that one.
Oh, dude, I won't even let her stick me with anything, even if I'm dehydrated.
Oh man.
I wanted to ask Zach. So you were saying you're on the board with the 501c, and I know you were when we were talking back and forth about the Ironman stuff. Will you go into that a little bit? Because man, super impressive. And I mean, I know you were saying with the running and stuff, you've found a love for that, and you've lost 50 pounds. I mean, holy cow, you gotta be motivated.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, you're straight ripped. I saw you at the freaking show. I was like, yeah, I used to look kind of like
man,
that.
I still got a little bit of my pouch left in my little Disney pouch. We still eating them Christmas trees. Don't get that confused. But so I kind of fell into this position with Hooky Hero through Eco. We do a lot of charity events.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, the owner, he's a veteran. He's he was in the Army, and his motto is always be the first to give. I've never met somebody with such a big heart. If somebody has a charity and they want to raise some money, he will donate some coolers for it because he just believes in that. So we donated a bunch of coolers they had a clay shoot, and we went and kind of showed up and helped the event, kind of met the board and everything. And at the time I was really coming over the hill of like my mental health battle. So I'm doing really good. I'm finding a lot of peace. I'm that ball's rolling. Help is happening. I'm feeling really good. A lot of peace is happening. I'm sleeping again. And that's when I started. The first time I feel like I was called to this was, okay, there's a real need for this. Nobody needs to do this alone. There are so many more just like me that need some help. So I wanted to go the whole, creating my own nonprofit until I realized how difficult it is to start a nonprofit.
Oh, man. It is, dude.
It was just the application was like 150 pages.
Wow.
Just to be a certified business is hard. Yeah. That's way more difficult.
Yeah. I looked for an Audible for somebody to read me the whole contract of this LLC or the nonprofit thing, because I'm not reading 150 pages.
Yeah,
ain't no way. I'm too bored and I don't understand all them words. So
yeah.
It was kind of like, man, now I need people on the board. We got to have all these meetings. I was just super overwhelmed. Well, we went to that event and I ended up, meeting the whole board of Hooky Hero, and they're like, hey, we really need a fireman on the board here because that's something we're lacking. And I was like, okay, well, keep me in mind. I don't want to jump in anything yet because I just got this idea and I don't want to be like, hey, I'm a board member and I have zero experience. I don't even know what to do. So I was kind of intimidated. And then a couple months later, I was like, you know what? I can't get this out of my head. I really want to do this. I have the heart for it. And I want to be surrounded by people that have the same passion as me. And so I was lucky enough and got elected onto the board as, the first fireman on the board for a while, and immediately was off to the races. We we're fundraising, we're doing all this stuff, but we're helping a lot of the people, throughout this process. So we get people will sign up as a nominee, or someone will sign someone up as a nominee and go, hey, I think they need some help, or we want to nominate them for a hero trip because they're just outstanding people in this community and they deserve it. And so we get them coming through our CRM and get assigned and start reaching out to people. Hey, this is my story. This is who I am, and I'm here for you. If you just need to talk, we'll talk. I don't need to force you into therapy. I don't want to force you into anything you don't want to do, because the biggest thing is I don't want to push you away. Right. I want you to know that I'm here for you no matter what. I'm here to match your energy. You want to put 50% in, I'll put 50% in. You want to do 100%, I'll do 100%. I'm here the whole time, whatever you need. So that is just, it's one of those things that just there's so much fulfillment just seeing one person get their life back and their family get their husband or their wife back. We're putting homes back together.
Is there anything more important?
Maybe at the end of the day, your faith and your family is the only thing you got.
That's right.
Nothing else matters. Because at your worst day, they're the only people behind you.
That's true.
Just talk to somebody that doesn't have one.
Yeah.
They'll let you know real quick. I mean, it'll humble you real quick. So
yeah,
that's awesome though, man.
So we're full force on that. We're going through that, and one of my coworkers, he passed away on Memorial Day. He committed suicide.
Oh man.
And it rocked us pretty bad. It was the first suicide in department history. So within 48 hours, I was able to get a team put together, and we were able to go into the department and start immediately counseling. And what hit home is I worked for this department. So all these people I'm talking to are my friends, and so that was very emotional for me, is because I know their spouses, I know their kids, I know their parents, I know all this. So it really fired me up of like, I want, what all can I do? Like, how can I reach more people? How can we put more people through these treatments? Because we're, immediately we started seeing people coming through like, hey man, like, DeMarkey and I were working through stuff together, and now he's gone. I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, this is a huge tragedy, but we can pull a positive from this, and we can grow stronger and learn from this. We don't need to, be depressed. At the end of the day, as sad as it is, my friend made a decision, and he made that decision to basically protect everyone else in his mind. Is and the reason I know this is these are the thoughts that I had myself, was if I take myself out, everyone around me is going to do so much better because they're not worried about me anymore. I'm not dragging them down. I'm not that boat anchor. I'm not that person that's, killing their mood or, causing them depression or anxiety or, I am the weak link. If I'm gone, everyone else is going to succeed. So I don't think badly at all. I hurt because I wish I could have gotten there prior to this, and we could have maybe changed this and helped this. But at the end of the day, when you have alpha mentality people, when they make a decision, it is so hard to get them to change their mind because the decision's made. It's done. So I truly believe he made the decision that he had the most peace about. As much as it kills us and hurts us, I can't falter him for that. I wish I could have helped, but I couldn't. So I can't help him anymore, but I can help everyone around him.
Sure.
And we can talk about this and be like, hey, don't think this was a selfish decision, and save others and bring some peace and go, hey, look, this happened, but this was never meant to hurt anybody,
Right.
So if you're having these thoughts, we can fix this, because I want you to know how you feel right now. And I want you to embrace how you feel right now and write it down. How I feel terrible. I wish this would have never happened. And when you're having your bad days, remember all those thoughts, because that's what everybody around you is going to think if you take yourself out. If we could see the aftermath of suicide, we'd never do it.
No,
we would never ever do it, because we would finally realize, they need me more than I need me. Right. So the biggest thing is we have to have a reason why. Why not? Why am I not going to do this? Because you don't have to value your life. That is fine. You have to value the reason why you keep going. Because we're all going to have.
You were brought in. You were brought here. There were people that raised you, loved you, all those things, and that you speak on. So that's the toughest thing, I think everybody at some point in our lives, unfortunately, we've had somebody, a friend or something that's happened to, and it's so hard to imagine, but it creates so much more pain for the people for years to come, not having them, and that's the tough thing to deal with, it's so tough.
I couldn't even imagine not knowing somebody was thinking that too, you know what I mean? Like, it's gotta be so hard being afterwards, being a friend or, a family member and being like, I didn't even realize, because like help. You said, a lot of these people, are type A and, are strong people and, would never don't want to let it on to people, Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to talk to you about what I'm dealing with, because I don't want to bring you into my world of chaos. So I'm trying to protect you and be like, hey, weak. I'm doing great. Or it makes me look weak, or I'm scared of what you're going to think of me. Especially guys that are active duty and they're on the job. I can't have my partner not have trusted me to know that, hey, if something happens today, I need you on your A game. If I'm telling you, hey, I'm not mentally doing okay, and we lose trust, well, that's going to be in the back of your head every single time we run a call.
Yeah.
Is I know I've got a job to do, but I'm worried about him. Yeah. And we don't want that. And what's terrible is we need to be able to talk about it and go, hey man, look, if you need a break, let's take a break, because your health is worth more than anything to me.
Yeah.
But trust takes a lifetime to gain and seconds to lose. And people are just so scared of losing that. Yeah. And a lot of active duty guys have special clearance. And if they say, hey, I'm not doing okay, that's gone. Your career's gone.
Right.
So we can't talk about it. That's what we need to change, is to be like, and I know it's such a great
that we're
line.
Talking about it tonight, because it needs to be spoke of, because just that one person that's brave enough to say, hey man, I need this. You know what I mean? I just need somebody that relates to me. Because that saying, I've done a lot of bad in my life. I'll be straight up about that. I'm no freaking, angel. I think we've all went through some shit. Okay. But Absolutely. The point is that if you're a decent person, you are your own worst critic. And Absolutely. The guilt that comes with that, I never wanted to do a damn thing wrong in my entire life. Honestly, most of the dumb things I've done have been related to, drinking hard liquor, so, I mean, honestly, I could drink some Busch Lights, bro, and not be dumb, but that stuff makes me dumb. So, you learn your own weaknesses and you're your own worst critic. There's been times where my wife wanted to punch me in the jaw, and I wanted to cut my leg off before listening to her try to punch me in the jaw. I'm just saying, but I hate to make fun of that. I'm just saying, in that position, getting back to serious, you are your own worst critic. And people don't realize that, I think, sometimes that person that's dealing with that pain, whatever you're telling, whenever they're saying, hey, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, life's not that way, it's this way, you already know all that. And you're already stuffing all that in. You know what I'm saying?
I used to make the joke is, you can't hurt my feelings, because I promise you'll never say anything that's worse than what I tell myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm my own worst enemy.
Yeah, dude.
And I think the biggest thing is we got to stop listening to the garbage in our head.
Yeah.
Because it's not true.
No.
Once you quit giving that power and you silence those demons in your head, your life becomes better. The negative self-talk and I don't believe I'm good enough for anything and the no confidence thing. Once we start getting rid of that and taking small steps to getting rid of that, your life becomes so much better. And I'm speaking from experience. I promise you, the most non-confident, self-sabotaging person you've ever met in your life.
Yeah.
I literally, you could not hurt my feelings, because I tell myself every morning, you are the biggest piece of shit I've ever met. Literally. And, right. That one, I've started to get away. So Ironman, there's two sides to that whole project. the number one is obviously raising money for mental health therapy, like treatments. None of that is ever, nothing is lining my pockets, right? This is costing me a ton of money. But what I'm gaining out of this is for my mental health. Right. And it's showing myself that I'm setting goals, I'm reaching these goals, and I'm, getting these small wins every day, that I'm gaining confidence in myself, knowing that there's nothing that can come my way that I cannot do. Right. And that for my mental health has been unbelievable. So this whole journey of me just suffering, throughout this whole training process, getting up at 3 a.m. to, ride my bike or do a run before having to leave for work at 5 a.m. and getting home late and not getting any sleep, do all this, all of that is just a test for me. But it's also is like, I want people to be like, man, this guy is just insane for doing this. So if he can do something hard, maybe I can do something hard and get some help. Yeah. Because getting help is way easier than getting up at 3 a.m. to run 5 miles. Yeah. It's way easier than, running a full marathon after biking 112 miles. Like getting help is as easy as going, hey, I need help. That's easy. But exactly. It's convincing yourself of like, I'm going to stop listening to that garbage lies in my head, and I'm going to get help, and we're going to get better. And because I have a reason why I'm not going to kill myself. I have a reason to live and to be better. And a lot of people, it's their kids, it's their wife, it's their dog. I mean, everybody has different reasons, but it's just find that reason, stick to it. Start your day with small wins, man. Make your bed and be like, okay, we're starting today with positivity. We've made a win. That's great. And if you want to go for a run or something, that's great, because I promise you what's going to happen the rest of the day didn't suck as bad as that 5 miles did.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me. And not for nothing, it's hard to have bad thoughts when you're struggling to breathe. You're like, oh my God. Yeah. Tristan, you just PR'd your run the other day. Like, you're pushing, and like, that sucks. It sucks the whole time, but the reward at the end is so great.
Oh, dude. And one of the things I was going to ask is like, I mean, surely you feel this way, like, and I would imagine tell guys about it, but like the whole fitness thing, like, and mental health, like, the having that win and just the endorphins and just biologically what happens when you like do a hard workout. I mean, it's great. It's great stuff, for mental health too,
It is the best antidepressant I've ever taken.
Yeah.
And I'm not, that's what's so funny is like, anyone that knows me, I'm not a fitness person. I'm more like fitness cheeseburger in my mouth kind of.
Yeah,
person. Right. I'm running to the buffet line, dog. I ain't running for fun. If I'm running, someone's chasing me, you better be running too.
Yeah.
That's who I've been my whole life. But, just really once you come so close to taking your own life and you realize how sweet life is, and you're like, okay, what can I do to be better today? How can I be better? And how can I be better to, maybe like motivate somebody or be a mentor to somebody? And that was something, I really struggled with was, I'm here to I've got to mentor people that are broken, but I'm just as broken. Mm-hmm. How do I do? I'd almost feel like a fraud. I'm like, how can I tell you, hey, this is what you need to do to get help? But like, I need help too.
Well, it's hard to like pour into other people's cup when your cup's not full, kind of thing,
Yeah.
See, I'm very good at that. I'm so good at helping others and not helping myself. Man. That's where this whole thing is. I want to help others, but I want to help myself too, because completing this Ironman is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. But it's showing myself and building that confidence in myself that I can do anything. So it doesn't have to be an Ironman. It doesn't have to be, an ultra marathon. It doesn't have to be anything crazy hard. Like, figure out if walking down the street is hard, like, do it. And then once you finish that, you're like, man, look what I just did. I'm so proud of myself. Let's do something else.
Yep.
And it doesn't even have to be fitness. It just set a goal, any kind of goal. Like, so this year I've decided that I want to do a full year sober. I quit dipping. I quit drinking. I want to try to be as healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually as possible. Yeah. And it's been an incredible journey. It is hard to pass up a cold bush light every now and then. I promise you that, but I'm trying to just build as strong of a pillar as I can so that it doesn't matter what you throw at me, I can help you. Right. You know, like I just want to help others. That is my whole life goal. That's my calling. I'm nothing special. I'm a below average person with an above average calling. That is all it is.
That's awesome, man. Awesome way to say it.
It is.
And I'm glad it's like this, because that's what keeps me motivated. Is I can't quit because I got too many people counting on me.
Yeah.
You know, my brothers that are passed before me, if I quit, it's like I'm quitting on them. And right. September 11th just happened, and I got 343 reasons to keep going.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
That's how I look at it.
That's a great point, man. Man, I can't even, like, just the stuff that's got to go into training for the Ironman stuff, and obviously being sober, you know, not influencing your training, I'm sure helps a lot too. Will you go into a little bit of that? Because I don't even really know, like, what all you got to do to prepare for that, and like what's the challenge of it.
Yeah, dude, this is like the Iditarod for men and women.
Yeah, so if I'd have known what all went into this, I don't know if I'd have chosen it. I think I think the ignorance of this is really a strong point. So for anyone who doesn't know, a full Ironman triathlon is a 2.4 mile swim.
Okay.
And then you get out of the water and you bike 112 miles, and you get off the bike and you run a 26.2 mile marathon.
Wow.
And that's you finish. Congratulations, you are now an Ironman. It's 140 miles total. And you've got 17 hours to do it. And the top athletes in the world do it in like 8 hours. They're insane.
Wow.
So for me, you know, Mr. 285 pound of twisted steel and little Debbie's, you know, like it was I'm not a runner, you know, I'm not a cyclist. I love to swim. I didn't realize how terrible I am at swimming until you do something like this. So, first things first, I signed up for a sprint triathlon. It was the shortest one. It was 400 meter swim, 8 mile bike, and a 5K at the end. And I just signed up for it. I didn't have a bike. I didn't have running shoes. I didn't train at all. I was like, you know what, if I don't sign up for this, I'm never going to do it. So I just started learning. I fell in love with it. I thought it was amazing. I got to feel like an athlete again, you know, like high school baseball. I peaked, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm pretty good. And then now I feel like I get to be an athlete again and get to train. So I hired a coach because I don't know anything about this. And so he's sending me my workouts every day. So my day starts at about 3:15 in the morning. I've either got a bike, a swim, or a run for that day. So it's, you know, either to start out like a 45-minute run, or, you know, an hour-long bike, or 1,800 meter swim. And it's just, we're constantly building up, because you got to put miles on your body to get some strength. You know, we're going to get hurt if not. So it's 6 days a week, usually one rest day, every week or every 10 days. So every single day we got something going on. And then I try to post my workouts so people are like, okay, you know, hold myself accountable. People see like, okay, he's holding himself accountable. He's actually doing what he's saying he's doing. So, because my biggest thing is I don't want anybody to like support this and think that your contribution is going to, you know, to pay for Disneyland, you know, like that is not it at all. So it's learning how to swim. It's learning how to run. It's learning how to bike, you know, like how you're supposed to. Swimming growing up in Florida, like I knew how to swim at 18 months. You know, I didn't have floaties. I was swimming. I've always loved the water. I've always been in the water. I almost drowned my first 3 races.
What?
Wow.
Like literally
is far.
400. It's quarter mile. It's not.
That's
it's
so far.
It is, but it is.
For me to do off the street, not swimming, would be hard.
Dude, when I swam to the bank over at Lake Lanier, that was probably only like a third of that.
Yeah.
I was huffing, dude. Oh,
I had to start
side stroking to get there.
That's where we're talking like the ignorance comes in. I'm like, that's not bad at all. Like I can do that. Are you kidding me? And it literally came down to, I'm putting my feet down. If I don't touch, I'm drowning. And it was a fight. But like these events are safe. They have people in boats and kayaks and flotation devices to give you but I was like, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not swimming over and be like, hey, I'm about to drown. Where's my arm swimmies? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd rather drown than be that guy. So that's just the stupid in me, So it was like, look, we're just keep swimming. We're going to keep paddling. And if we go down, we go down, but at least we did something we wanted to do,
So so you've been training, how long you been training, and when is the actual event, the big event?
Okay. So I've been hitting it hard for 3 months.
Okay.
And that every single day, other than, like my rest days. My main full event is next November in Panama City, Florida. It's the Ironman Panama City. I race like these local races about one every 2 weeks or once a month. Okay. It's a practice day. It's to see where your training's at, we gotten a little faster here. We need to work on this. We need to work on like transition zones. Because as soon as you start the swim and you get out of the swim, you got to go and transition into jumping on the bike and going. So you have to make sure everything's set up correctly. Then when you come back, you got to park your bike a certain way, get your running shoes on, get all that. And you're trying to do that as fast as possible because you want obviously the least amount of time as possible. Sure. So, all of those races are just teaching moments. Like I just had a race on Sunday and I failed miserably by just stupid little things. I did great. I did my best time, but like I froze my water bottles so that I could have cold water on the bike, but I bought these new insulated water bottles. So they were frozen solid.
Oh, no.
So I'm 5 miles into this ride and I'm like, man, I really need some water. It was a chunk of ice. So super dumb. I use brand new running shoes. I don't wear socks on these races because obviously your feet are wet coming from the swim. So I've got cycling shoes that are supposed to be made for this. Brand new running shoes, not broken in. I've got massive blisters on my feet from trying to run that. So
let me ask you this real quick, because I'm one of those dudes. I'm like, I joke, it's like thick boy running club. Like you know where you're coming from. 50 pounds. So I chafe bad, dude. So like that's got to be a hurdle that you gotta. I mean, how do you?
Hey, they make this stuff called nut butter.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. It's like Vaseline. And I lather in it, dude. Because, hey, that old joke, like, your mama's so fat when she walks, her thighs go, excuse me, pardon me, your boy, Yeah. I'm trying to make this as less miserable as possible. So, yeah, I lather up in it all over.
Okay.
And it works so great. It gets you some. I'll send you a link. It's amazing. It's cheap. Okay. It works super good. But, oh, yeah, that's a huge thing because you're wet the whole time. So
yeah. Dude, I would be dying. Yeah,
you should try one. I'm telling you, there's so much fun. Much fun.
I would love to. So I got into Orange Theory because my wife was going to it and I was kind of just like bouncing around, just working out at the gym, like nothing like consistent, and I've like fell in love with, like you said, being kind of training to be an athlete again, because like today, there's always different workouts, but like today it was like 2.6 miles in total and running, and then another like half an hour and like different like HIIT lifting type stuff. So it's just like all this hybrid kind of athlete type stuff that I love. But they have a thing this month called the Dry Try, and it's like their little, and it's basically like a 1,400 meter row. It's not like that crazy compared to what you're doing, but it's like a 1,400 meter row, a certain amount of mileage, and then like there's all body weight exercises, and you have to.
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment.
Like some like certain amount of body weight exercises, but I think I'm going to do that. But that's nothing compared to what you're doing.
But I mean, yeah, but you can't always compare to, because like there are people that do double Ironman, where it's literally 2 Ironmans. To me, that's crazy. But
dude, my cousin
like,
Steve did it.
Did he?
Yeah. I think he did. I think or it was, if it wasn't that, it was like, I don't know, even if it wasn't that, it was something that I was like, when I was in my prime, I was like, he dedicated his life to it. Like, shaved his head and everything, and dude, he freaking did it, whatever it was. And I was just like, Jesus, I would never be able to do what he did. It might have been Ironman.
Well, you're bald, so I mean, you're halfway
Well,
there.
yeah. I know,
dude,
I got way
aerodynamic.
better.
You don't even need a swim cap.
Compared to, listen, in high school, with the mullet I had, bro, and the mustache,
that's a lot of
I
drag
had
right there.
serious drag.
And the Mach 1 Mustang.
Dude, yeah.
We used to go down to the Shake Shack.
Taco Bell parking lot burnouts with an S10. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny, man.
Can I give it up for a S10 burnout? Come on.
Tell us a little bit, Zach. So you were saying you were wanting to raise money. Like, tell us about what that's for. Like, how people can help support that, and like, all the mission behind that.
Yeah.
So the goal is 500,000, and if it takes me 5 years, it takes me 5 years. I'm just gonna keep doing hard stuff and trying to raise money for this. So the Hook a Hero and Combat Vets to Careers is the two main that I want all the money to go to, because those are the ones that are putting all the people through therapy that we use. So like, we're doing ketamine therapy with Combat Vets. We're doing, hero trips. We're doing, therapist to patient kind of therapy, professional therapy, if you will. Well, all of that stuff is very expensive. So just 1 hour of therapy per nominee, like veteran, first responder, whoever, it's $150 an hour. A hero trip is $500 per person, and the ketamine treatments for their 6 sessions is like $3,600. Wow. So it's very expensive to get help, but I don't want anybody to have that financial stress on themselves to get help. Let's make this as smooth as possible, because like, what are your biggest stressors in life? Your home life, your finances, your job. Like, let's take those completely out of the question, right? Yeah. Now let's focus on what we need to do. Well, that takes a lot of money. Yeah, and to help people, it's like eating healthy. Eating healthy is expensive. Man. Any of our hobbies, it's expensive, right? If someone would tell you, hey, do you want to go duck hunting? I'll pay for everything. Just come with me every time I go. You're going to be like, of course. Yeah, of course, right?
Right.
So that's kind of.
I'd go with you every time you asked me to if we were going to Waffle House.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, are you kidding me, bro? I'll be there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll get $2,000.
Let alone duck hunting, man. Shit. Let's go.
500,000 sounds like a lot, but I don't want people to think of this as dollar signs. I want you to think of it as people. Like, you're sponsoring people. So
dude.
If it's just $1, like, if you can afford to give $1, that I can't ask for anything more. You can give 25 cents. Yeah. It all adds up, and it's all going to help someone, Yeah. So we launched Project Ironman. We have a page on hookahero.com. With all the links, and then Operation Field Trip, which is the ketamine therapy through the Combat Vets to Careers. To do the donation, hookahero.com, under the Project Ironman, we have a donation page there. It's all through a 501c3. So if you want to make a donation and you want the tax, exemption, we can send everything to you. And just know, like, every single dollar raised is going to someone. It's not going to pay for a new trailer. It's not going to go pay because we need to get shirts to sell at the clay shoot. Like, it is going strictly to therapy. That is the whole reason that I'm doing this. And if one single dime doesn't go to therapy, I'm cutting it. I'll find somebody else. But I have the faith and the integrity into these organizations that I'm putting my name on, to know that that is never going to be a question, because the people I'm surrounding myself only want to help, because we've all been through it. We've all lost our friends. We've all lost family. We've all almost lost ourselves. And we know what it takes to get healthy. And it's a long road. It's hard. Yeah. That's why Ironman's hard, but getting help is the hardest thing I've ever done, because you have just opened yourself to be so vulnerable to all the attacks, because everyone, you can't handle it. You can't. I'm making a decision to better myself and my family. I don't care what you think.
Dude, I think that's why it's so such an impact on you with God himself. Honestly, I remember a pastor one time saying, sometimes God will shake the ground you walk on to get your attention. But he was talking about the sanctification process, how it's different for everybody. And me, I needed, he dropped like a big giant, hammer on me, to get my attention, where others, like my brother, he was like, yeah, I'm going to church. You know, I mean, it was that easy, you know, whatever. But I think that that's an important part of that. You know, it's the exact same feeling, if that makes sense.
You know, that is something I've struggled with for so long. So I'm a preacher's kid.
Oh yeah,
my dad's a Baptist preacher, independent fundamental. I had a terrible drug problem growing up. I got drugged to Sunday school, drugged to Sunday morning, drugged to Sunday night. You know, Tuesday visitation, Wednesday, Friday business meeting.
What denomination, if you don't mind me asking?
Baptist.
Okay,
independent fundamental Baptist. We had the buffet every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? You got that Baptist potluck.
That's some good stuff, dude. That's some good food. That's some good food.
That's why I was in the husky khakis, you know, as a kid. But I struggle with that because I'd ask God, I'm like, why do I have to go through all this? Like, why is everyone around me, their lives are so much easier? Why am I constantly hitting roadblocks? And it finally hit me. It's to build me to where I am now, to be a voice for those that don't have one.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful. Like I struggled for so long, but I'm so thankful I struggled because it gave me the passion I have today. Yeah. And what turned it around for me was I was talking to a pastor and I was just venting to him. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm so miserable. I'm so stressed. Mm-hmm. And he said, John 16:33, in this world we have troubles, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And I just started crying. And I was like, you know, who am I to figure this out by myself? Because clearly it isn't working.
Right.
You know, why not take all your problems and all your life decisions and give it to the person who's already done it?
Yeah.
Who's already conquered.
Amen to that, bro.
So the day I chose to do that, my life got so much better. Yeah. It's because I don't have to stress over it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we find ourselves in our lives stressing over small things that don't matter. Yeah. That literally don't matter. They matter right now, but they don't matter a week from now. You know, I don't want to miss that sale at Target. You know, I'm stressing out. We got to go to Target and get this toilet paper that's on sale. It don't matter.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, I wanted to go full circle back on why I was brought that up is just that, you know, you were talking about how, you know, it's so hard to admit to somebody your faults. You know, I mean, it's humbling, right? It really is. And so you do the same thing with God. And that's where I was going, kind of like how those two things connect, is that it takes you there. And usually when somebody does do that, and somebody's going to, you know, like you, us, anybody that is a decent person is going to reach their hand out and help that person. It's a life-changing experience, you know, and that's the tie I was trying to make with all that, is that we can be that piece of the pie as people. But nobody's kicked me harder in the teeth than God has.
Oh, buddy.
Or, I mean, I kicked myself in the teeth, actually. He gave me new teeth. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you heard of anything that like Mike Dragic is doing up in Jacksonville?
Oh, I'm happy you brought that up.
Or the Church of 1122? Any of them up there?
So I actually watch
that podcast.
Like every Sunday I watch the church. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, Joby Martin, Pastor Joby Martin. Be a man. I love that guy. So, I love that guy.
The reason I bring that up, so me and my wife, actually, our first date was technically to...
What's up, guys? If you want coffee that doesn't suck, you probably can guess what I'm going to say. Get the Duck. Dirty Duck Coffee is the official coffee of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor podcast, and they have a great lineup of different coffee blends, everything from Morning Wood and First Flight to Dark Dynasty and Suns Up, Guns Up. You can't go wrong with Dirty Duck Coffee. And they have a great lineup of cold brew cans, mocha, French vanilla, original cold brew, and cinnamon teal snickerdoodle. If you want 15% off your next order, use code OneHellOfALife15 on your next order.
1122. So we got like coffee and like when, you know, stuff like outside of that, but our like first like date was, because basically what had happened was we started talking on Bumble, and she was new to Jacksonville or whatever, and I told her, you know, I went to church there, and long story short, she went a couple weeks later, hit me up, and she loved it. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that I love that church, and I still, even up here in Atlanta, I haven't connected to a church the same way as I did at 1122 and the way Pastor Joby Martin is, but they got a podcast called Built for More, and they had Mike Dragish on the podcast, and he has my dad actually used to serve with him at church, and
we worked on a security team together.
Yeah, he's a combat veteran, and a lot of the similarities, like what you guys do, it sounds a lot of like his mission too. He has an organization called Project Save Your Outdoors, and I was just
specifically geared at saving Marines from committing suicide.
Well, not just Marines, veterans. And
but it came targeted because it was an outstanding number of people in his battalion that had committed suicide, and it's a great organization.
Yeah, and my whole point with that is he was just on their podcast last week. It's called the Built for More pod, and he was saying that, and you touched on this earlier, it's why I want to bring it up, is that hunting is a vehicle to change lives through God, through peace, through all these other things. That's all, like, that's the whole reason you're taking people to guide, or your free guided hunts. It's a vehicle to bring somebody peace, right? You know? So I just thought, that's a guy you should definitely check out. Who knows? Maybe you guys can network.
You guys will be skydiving together in a week. I can see it. You guys are built the same. Brains are the same. Mike's a great person, an incredible human being. I wish him the best. And man, it's so cool to see somebody that that's so darn genuine. Like, you really know that person. Like, I'm not like super, I'm not going to say we were best friends. I'm not going to claim that, but I'm just saying I knew Mike very well through church every Sunday.
You guys duck hunted together.
Yeah, dude. I took him on his first duck hunt, a veteran hunt, So, genuinely a great person. And, he's just, he's inspired so many lives. He's given so much. He helped so many people in North Carolina. He was taking flying chainsaws out to people in a helicopter. Wow. I mean, the guy catches alligators. He beat people up for God, and
his thing is called a blue collar brawler, and I think he's still active. I don't know. He's like an MMA fighter, but he's also does all this.
Dude, he hates pigs. He hates pigs. He's got incredible NRA rights. And just an incredible, my point is, incredible person. And I totally could see you two, like, you guys are cut from the same cloth, bro.
He actually just created a ranch called Blue Collar Creek or something. And what he's going to be able to do is, like, you might want to hit him up, because, like, I think he's putting like dorms and stuff on there. So, like, if you want to go and host an event there, like, you can basically bring your group in, stay in the, spots. And then I think there's like pig hunting and turkey hunting and stuff.
Oh, so. I love it. Is he taking applications for like best friends? Because
reach out to him.
I'm willing to fill one out. It sounds like,
dude, he's so awesome. He deserves his family, and he's blessing so many other people and saving lives, but he deserves everything that God is giving him right now, because he truly, like, when I talk to him about, and I'm going to give you shit about this, Mike, I talk about getting him on the podcast. He's like, bro, listen, like,
we have had him on once.
Yeah, but I felt like the last time we talked about it, he was like so damn honest with me. He was like, dude, listen, and it was something crazy like this. He goes, I just went to Disney World, went and hunted with Ted Nugent, went to Africa, killed a pig, came back, killed an alligator, and now I'm home. I mean, but it wasn't anything like that. But his schedule is so busy, and most of that time is giving. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's just giving, whether it's to his organization or somebody else. It's just, he's an incredible dude.
Yeah, but just whole point bringing that up is there's a lot of similarities.
We want you guys to meet.
What y'all do.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
I'm curious with the taking people out, Zach. Is there a favorite story that you've had, or just like a favorite moment where, like, you're like, man, this was like why I do this. So
the one that immediately came to mind was I did a youth hunt.
Okay.
And it was like veteran and first responder aside, and I didn't know this guy. A buddy of mine, he hosts a youth hunt every year for like Ducks Unlimited. He asked me, he's like, hey, I need a boat. Would you mind taking someone out? And I said, absolutely. So I came out, I met him. Come to find out, like, we have so many friends in common. His son he was 6 or 7 at the time. I could be wrong of exact age, but he was wanting to kill his first duck.
Oh, nice.
Well, Matt, his dad, killed his first duck at like 8 years old or something, and maybe he was 7, something like that. He's a year prior from when his dad killed his first duck, and his whole mission was, I want to kill a first duck before my dad killed his first duck. So we had he had a 20 gauge. We had it set up. We had all the decoys set out, and this was the most electric day I've ever had duck hunting.
Wow.
And it was awful because we couldn't shoot at all. It was a youth hunt, but it was so amazing because this was an area where it's nicknamed the zoo because there's a million boats and you're getting steel shot ran down on you, and it's crazy. But on youth hunt, it was a little less busy, but there's so many birds. And for these birds to come and just land in the decoys and just sit there and just swim around is unheard of.
Wow.
So within, I don't know, 15 minutes of shooting light, we had a teal drop in, sit at the decoys. He killed his first duck, and he was so excited. And I'm sitting here shaking. I was like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And his dad stopped everything, goes, you know what we do when we get a kill? We thank God for giving it to us. And I started crying. I was like, this was the most unbelievable moment I've ever had in my life. I was like, if I could do this every day, this was so electric. That was my favorite hunt to this day. And then what's funny is my wife's in anesthesia school, and she was working in the OB unit, and she did the epidural for his wife on their newest kid.
No
He's like,
way.
He saw her name tag. He goes, Maddox, do you know Zach Maddox? She goes, yeah, that's my husband. He goes, he took my son so he could kill his first duck. It's nice to meet you. And she texted me. She's like, you know this guy? I was like, yeah. Oh yeah. We went hunting together, and yeah, super small world. So she was in there when his newest child was born, and
that's something.
It was just, and he said, well, you got another one to take duck hunting. I said, I can't wait, but it was such a God morning.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't have planned this. I'm not a good duck hunter. I'm terrible at it, and you would think that, I was the world's best duck hunting guy, and like, thankfully, Matt, he's a big duck hunter and stuff. And he's, we collaborated and figured out what we want to do and how to set up the decoys, but it was so perfect. Like, you couldn't draw it up any better, but it was incredible. It tugged them heartstrings, just unbelievable. But on the other side of the first responder thing, the biggest thing I learned when it comes to that is it's not about the hunting or fishing, how good it is. It's about just being on the water and having that peace. Cause I would stress out really bad. I'm taking a guy and I'm like, hey man, this dude needs an electric day. We got to catch more fish. We got to kill more ducks. We got to have the greatest frog snatching trip ever, because that's what he needs. And then I'm stressed out and I can't enjoy it. And just to get told, hey man, I don't know why you're stressed out. This isn't about hunting or fishing for me. This is just peace. And I just went,
wow.
I was like, thank you. I needed that. Yeah. Because that brought me back to reality. Because when I was getting the healing, it wasn't about the hunting or the fishing. It was about the healing.
Right.
Yeah. And it brought me back to reality and humbled me a little bit of going, no need to stress, man. This is just a good day. This is all this is. It's just a good day. So that was my biggest takeaway from, being able to do this and being able to have support is it's not about results. It doesn't matter. You could catch a little panfish and it'd be the greatest day in the world to somebody, because that's not what they're out there for.
That's right.
Man, sometimes we get lost in results. We get lost in I've got to prove myself.
Yeah.
If we can just stay raw and enjoy what we are given and what we are able to do, that's where you're going to find your joy.
That's right.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point, because, we talk about a lot, like the reality of hunting, and my dad always says, like, every year on Facebook Marketplace, you'll see a young guy selling his stuff because he probably got into it, didn't shoot a limit of ducks, didn't shoot 160-inch deer, and then, that wasn't successful, and then he's selling all the stuff. But, like, to your point, like, if you can keep things, now this is not near as significant as, what you're talking about with the mental health and stuff, but just in the outdoor industry, it's like we paint everything like it's just always going to be these amazing hunts, and it's like it's not always going to be like that. And if you can be thankful, like we remember being thankful, like the first time we shot teal. We, the boat motor almost fell off when we got set up at 8:30, and we shot 3 teal between 8:30 and 11, and it was the great, like one of our favorite hunts of all time.
Of all time, we cried.
Yeah,
we cried, bro.
We might have
cried, dude. I was laying in the Altamaha River holding a 10-foot long tail on my shoulder with one arm on the boat, one arm waiting, holding the damn thing up. Gators everywhere, bro, like everywhere. And when you're in the main channel, there's big ass gators, and I'm trying to hold it so to level it out so Tristan can put a couple of the bolts that thankfully fell down in the bottom of the boat. It was as if somebody freaking did this shit on purpose, dude. They were lock nuts. And
oh my!
All of a sudden, just nothing's attached. Now, how the hell does that happen?
Just vibrated out or something.
I mean, but all 4 of them at one time.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we found 3 of them, and I was like, "I'll be damned if we're not hunting."
Yeah.
It's like 8:30. I don't give a shit if it takes us until 11. We'll hunt for an hour, and then we're leaving. But we're going.
Yeah.
And I'll be some bitch. 3 teal, and you would have thought that. I mean, we were laughing.
We won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we were laughing like a bunch of third-grade cheerleaders.
Isn't it funny that the worst days are the ones we always remember?
Man,
they're the most memorable. I can't. Yeah. Oh yeah. We shot a 4-man. You're like, I don't remember that. Like I remember it's pouring down rain. It's 30 degrees. I'm freezing to death. You're wondering, how is it not snowing out here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Just like you said, I shot 3 ducks and I was miserable the whole time. You know what? I had so much fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Our brain is literally wired to like, hey, the days that we're miserable, we're going to remember. And it's so funny that some of the worst days I've ever had out in the outdoors always ended up the best days, and that I'll never, ever forget. Getting stuck in a storm and, tides going out and we're beached up on a sandbar.
Oh no.
And just ran out of beer, didn't have any waters left, had no food. We're miserable, but you're laughing the whole time and you're like, I can't believe we're even in this situation. You'll never forget that. Ever.
Dude, we could so relate to you.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey,
we can relate. I
got a buddy of mine that every time I go fishing with, something happens, and my wife just tells me, just don't drown.
Yeah.
Just look, stay shallow, because if you do sink the boat, at least you can stand.
Right.
I'm telling you, every single time we're on the boat together, we were fishing a tournament.
There's people like that, bro. There just is.
We fished a tournament, and my wife was with us this day. The night before the tournament, we were going to pre-fish, and my trolling motor died, completely cooked. So I had to go get a new one. Had to rewired the whole thing, get out. Weather turns, we're battling 4 or 5 footers, taking them over the bow, get to the fishing spot, go to hit the spot lock on the trolling motor. Trolling motor has no juice. From hitting the waves, somehow the wire, the hot leg pulled out of the plug. So I didn't have my boat bag on me. I didn't have screwdrivers, nothing. I had to take trauma shears, what we use, on the ambulances in the hospitals to cut people's clothes off. Yeah. And I found a dime at the bottom of my boat, and I had to cut that dime into a flathead screwdriver and rewire my boat as we're just getting crushed by weight. I swear to you. That's
incredible.
Hey, there's a will, there's a way. And you get 2 rednecks
Technology.
We'll figure it out. So we rewired it, and we had an amazing day. Absolutely amazing day. Yeah. But every single time we've been fishing and start hearing this buzzing noise, and we're like, what is that? And I had a graphite fishing rod in my hand, and it's storms coming in, you get those pressure systems. And I noticed that the buzzing gets louder if I pick the rod up.
What?
And I'm going, we're about to get struck by lightning, cuz. So all the rods thrown in the bottom of the boat, and we hauled. We had to. And I'm like, we're going to die. We're going to die right now. So then I start looking up, like, are fishing rods conductive? And they're like, absolutely, they're graphite. And I'm seeing pictures of people, fishing rods getting struck by lightning and exploding in their hands. And I was like, dude, we're going to die. We're literally going to die.
Bro, I didn't know graphite was conductive.
I didn't either.
Oh, yeah. I didn't either until I Googled it. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, it was like a Harry Potter wizard. Yeah. It was, I was like, no, dude, we got to get out of here. I'm not ready for this.
That is so sketchy.
Oh my God.
That was one of the most terrifying moments I've ever had in 3 foot of water.
Oh
I was like, this is not good. But yeah, every single time we go fishing, man, it's a story. It ain't even a fishing trip. It's a story.
That's crazy.
Sounds
man.
like you got yourself a Jacques Cousteau or something.
Oh man. Man.
So before we get out here, I want you to plug the coolers and kind of tell us about the company, how you got involved with them, and we'll, just give us.
Well, first, just let me say this: we were doing a podcast, Caddy Corner, from these guys, and they had a corner area, and the whole time I'm doing the podcast, I'm looking over and going, "That's some cool shit," and I'm just looking at everything, and I was like. I told Tristan,
like dry bags.
Yeah, and I told Tristan, I said that's one of the first
cooler bags.
That's one of the first booths I want to stop at. So, I mean, tell everybody about it because you guys got some great products.
So, Eco Outfitters, like I said, is better known and operated. We're out of Ocala, Florida. Our thing is, like there's plenty of coolers out there, but I don't think you should have to pay an arm and a leg for quality. We always say we have a top shelf product at a working man's price. Like, we're not out here to take your grandmother's inheritance because you want to buy a 45 quart cooler. Yeah. So we kind of based upon that is let's do quality products that people can afford. We do a lot of the custom, B2B. We could do the cooler pads on the top. We have our own drinkware line that we do all the laser engraving and everything. But biggest thing is getting it out there and just having people fall in love with the company. Like we could sell styrofoam coolers, and you meet us and fall in love with us, you're like, man, I want one of the styrofoam coolers just because we love those people,
Right.
Yeah.
If we don't sell a product, we sell a relationship, because that's we don't look at people as customers, because people are people,
Mm-hmm.
I want a relationship with these people. I want to be friends with you.
Can you customize your own cooler?
So you can customize them from the cooler pads. We do all the CNC engraving and stuff on the marine decking for the pads.
Nice.
Now, if you wanted your own custom color cooler, and you want to order 500 of them, we can do that.
But order 500.
But yeah,
That's right.
doing extra molds and stuff are super expensive, but
sure they are.
Yeah, it's just, it's a company that really does feel like a family. How I got involved was years and years ago. I was on duty at the fire department. We got an email, and it was like, "Hey, local company, they're selling all this outfitter gear. They're giving firemen 50% off." And I was like, man, that's pretty incredible, because, for a small startup business to do something like that, that's kind of
how do you have the money to do that?
That's, I was like, this is crazy. So I actually reached out, because this is when I was fishing a lot of professional tournaments and stuff. And I was like, hey, I think it's amazing what you're doing for the first responders in the community. You've given them basically at cost coolers and stuff. How can I get involved and help you out? I'll tell everybody about you. I don't. And it was funny. I was like, I sent the email, and I got the email back, and it was like, we don't really have any sponsorship stuff, but thank you for reaching out. And I was like, no, hold on. I don't want anything for free. I was like, I know everybody wants something for free. I don't want anything for free. I just want to get involved because I think what you guys are doing is really cool. It's not something that you just see every day. And I was like, let's meet in person. Nobody knows anything about an email. There's no connection. I want to meet you in person. I just want to meet the guy who has a heart big enough to give away his products basically.
Right.
So I showed up, and I was like, hey, look, I'm doing this fishing stuff, and I want to do some guiding stuff. And I'm more than happy to buy a cooler, but I want to be a part of this. How can I be a part of this? And from that day, that was 8 years ago.
Dang.
Yeah. And Kyle was like, you know what, man, I could see your passion, and I think you're a good guy. So however you want to help, you can help. And he gave me a cooler. I showed up to buy one. He's like, here, man, just this one's on us, just enjoy it and let us know what you like about it. If there's something you want to change, we can change, because, if you find a problem with it, then that means other people found a problem with it. So if we can fix something, then nobody's going to have that problem again. And that was something that was so cool to me, is here's a company that they pride themselves on their products, but they're also going, hey, give us some critical feedback of how we can, mitigate some of this stuff and make it even better product. Because if you did that for some of these other competitors, they'd be like, yeah, okay, keep walking.
Right, exactly.
We've got the name already built, we don't need you. But,
sure.
So the humbleness behind it was just mind-boggling to me, because most businesses, man, you got to make money. You got to do, all these crazy stuff. And Kyle was just like, look, man, I'm just here to be a good person and do as good as I can. And I just thought that was so incredible. And watching it grow from where it was at to where it is now is really incredible. And to kind of be a part of it, like I'm not a paid position. Like I've just volunteered because they're some of my best friends now. That's awesome. And being able to watch them and see them succeed. Like I want nothing but success for them. A lot of people get jealous at, these people are doing so good. Like all my friends, I want them to be super successful. I want everyone around me, because the more successful you are, the more I'm going to learn from you and the better I'm going to become.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not jealous of you. I just want to, hey man, like what worked for you? Cause maybe like I can implement that and do make better decisions. Cause life, I heard a quote one time, life is nothing but the consequences of the decisions that you make daily. And I was like, wow, that is deep,
Yeah, it is.
Everybody's like, oh, I don't get the same opportunities. It's like, no, you just don't make the same decisions. Right. That's why you should always surround yourself with wise counsel and people that are better than you and smarter than you, because then you're going to learn to make those better decisions. Because we are who we become around. So, like for me, I was at such a low for so long. Now it's like, man, what are all these happy, successful people doing? That's what I want to do. Yeah. And I kind of found it through mental health, going through my own trials and tribulations. But yeah, they're ecooutfitters.com, the free shipping always, veterans, first responders, send them an email, they'll hook you up big time. So
heck yeah,
man, just good people, man. Just really, really good people.
No, y'all need to check them out, man. They are good people. And we sat and talked to you guys for probably 15, 20 minutes or whatever it was that day. And man, just wish you guys the best. Wish you the best, dude. Keep doing what you're doing, because it's stemming on greatness. I mean, it really is. And it's starting with you. And I just think it's so pure of it starts with you, and you've got this like process you're putting yourself through as a person, physically, mentally, and then back to physically, the really tough thing, with it, all that. But then you're still serving so many people, and it's just what an inspiration, bro. Yeah. You make me feel like I'm a busy person, and I just got schooled tonight. Yeah. Honestly, on it's. I mean, just you always make time for what you give a shit about, right?
I've been giving him a hard time about getting back to the gym consistently, and he started, to his credit, about 6 weeks ago, but then he just got a black lab puppy, Ike, and that's consumed a lot of his evenings.
Oh, it's sucking my soul, bro. It's okay, but she's starting to she loves her mama, and I when Tristan and I went out the other night and I filmed his hunt. I was like, dude, this is the first time in like 8 weeks that I have not been with my dog 100% of the time. And I mean, thankfully I work from home and everything, but it was just weird. And I thought, man, I hope it went good with Mom. And I got home and she's like, as soon as I walk in, Mom's like, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's go, baby. Yeah. So I was like, all right, so I got a babysitter now. So I get a little bit more freedom and I can maybe get back at the gym. I was liking it, dude. It was really good, honestly, because it just comes down to when we talked about it at the very beginning, and just kind of close out with this, is that there's that quote from Young Guns about, it says, the day you stop testing yourself is basically when they win.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Joe Rogan talks about it all the time and everything. And it's truly that, it's that Vince Lombardi quote about laying defeated on the battlefield after giving everything you got. There's something about that, bro. And if you've got the guts or the ability to really put yourself there, I don't know that there's a more happier, energetic, soulful feeling as a human being on this planet. There's nothing on this earth, no drug, no alcohol, no nothing that can replace that. I've felt that before at things that I've done, and I felt like I was just full circle mentally, physically, just everything was going there. And it's an incredible feeling if you push yourself there.
And the hardest part, the hardest part of the whole thing is just showing up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just starting. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, I'm not some freak disciplined person. I hit that snooze alarm like 4 or 5 times every morning. I'm like, I ain't ready for this.
We all have our
guys.
weakness. Superman had a weakness.
Like, I ain't ready for this, But once you start, man, you feel so much better that you just started.
Yeah.
And like, you're not going to get the results you're not going to crush it every single time, but like just showing up, you're already bettering yourself. Just showing up. Don't get caught in like what everybody else is doing and how everybody else looks. And, they're so skinny and ripped. Like who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
All you have to worry about is you and your family, your walk with God. If you have one, if you don't, you need to find it because it'll change your life. But none of that stuff matters.
Yeah.
And you know what? The people that are real and they're in that gym and they're ripped and everything, and they see you walking on a treadmill, struggling, they're going, "Hey, I'm proud of you."
Yeah, they are.
Thank you for
100%.
showing up. Thank you for 100%. Showing up. Because that is so hard to show up. You're already better than everybody else sitting on the couch.
Yep.
You showed up.
Yep.
That's something I learned. I trust me. I'm nothing special. I am the most mediocre, below average person. I promise you. I'm just trying to get better every day. If I can get 1% better every day, that's enough.
Well, it's been inspirational hearing your story, man, and just from what we were talking about over TikTok the other day, I felt that way, and that's why I thought it'd be great to have you on the podcast. And
we'll try. You can probably throw some links in.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the description and stuff, and tell everybody where they can find Project Ironside and the organization. I know you mentioned Eco Coolers too, but
hookahero.com. Hookahero.com /Project Ironman, or just go under our events. We'll have Project Ironman under the event, and it'll kind of give you a little backstory of where I came from, what the mission is, what we're trying to do, and has like your little donation link. All of that's getting funneled through Hook Hero, and it's also getting dispersed to Combat Vets to Careers. So you can also go to combatvets2careers.com if you want to make a donation through there. Any donation to any of these, whether it's through the Project Ironman or not, it's helping people. Like it is literally going to help people. It's not, I promise you, it's not coming into my pocket. I wish, because that would be really nice. This is so
count
expensive.
Me in. Listen, count me in. I'm sold. Listen, count me in, bro. I'm in.
It's not a dollar sign. It's a people, it's a number of people that we're helping. So, and then eco-outfitters.com. If you want to buy a super sweet cooler or some drinkware or dry bag or backpack cooler or whatever, but show them some support because they're just amazing people, and
awesome, man.
Instagram, ironmind.maddox. That's kind of like my little fitness page thing, or Healing Heroes Guide Company, which I'll send you all the links if you want to put those in. But I just wanted to say thank you so much. Time is the most precious thing you have. And for you guys to have me on here and give me some of your time, I appreciate that so much, because time is something we don't get back. That it's the only bank account we don't have a balance, that we can see a balance. We don't know when it's going to be up. So thank you so much for having. I'm very honored. I'm blessed because I don't feel like I deserve, to be here. But I really love meeting you guys up in Memphis, and I love supporting you guys. I think you're just great people. So thank you so much. I'm truly, truly honored to be here and to be able to talk with you guys.
Dude, that means a lot, seriously. And we really appreciate it. And we enjoy, podcasts just like this, getting to meet people and hear their story. And that's really the fulfillment for us, because
you guys giving us the right. I mean, I feel like you're giving us the right to who you are. And it's a humbling thing.
Yeah, and this is such a passion project for us. It's like we're not quitting our day jobs anytime soon. Yeah. So it's like this is what we love to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that's the goal, man. To be able to do this, full time. Mm-hmm. That's you never work a day in your life. That's what I want. I want to, just same thing with what y'all want to do is, if I just do this full time, this is what I love. This is what my passion is. This is what drives me. I don't want to go to work every day and be like, man, I'm so distracted because there's so many people that I'm trying to help and do all that. But that community, just being around the community is what does it, man.
It is, man. I mean, we'd be lying if we weren't dreaming of just like anybody else, just like anybody that ever wanted to be a singer in a band or whatever it is, you want to be the best that you can try to be it, who you are and what you do. And Tristan and I just try to be very just real with this podcast, and of course, you know, we would love to be. If you've got a lot of money, listen. If you've got a lot of money, there's a lot of things I can intelligently talk about that I could do with that money.
Oh yeah,
Couldn't we all, right?
Let's go, right? But no, man, the gift is ours. I mean, you gave the gift to us tonight. Really, I mean, we're blessed and being able to just have you on. I mean, it was incredible.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, whenever y'all want to come down and snatch some frogs or catch some redfish or
You
kill
can get
some
me
sea
a frogs
ducks, or
anytime.
I do. I still have 2 gator tags. We can snag us a gator if you want. Just
Oh, dude, that'd be sick.
That would be
more than welcome. You know, I would love to spend more time with you guys. So just let me know.
Heck yeah, man.
Well, sounds good, man. Hey, shoot, maybe we could work on a video idea to do like a little combo hunt/fitness thing. That'd be kind of fun.
Hey,
I'm going to Waffle House when you guys do the fitness part.
Yeah.
Oh, you could film.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
I can film.
yeah, fitness grand
But I
slam
gotta,
in my mouth.
Bear
Yeah.
Grylls.
Yeah.
Hey, Bear Grylls, as cameraman, had to be in damn good shape to keep up with him.
All right,
Just
hear me
remember
out.
that.
Gator run to Waffle House Grand Slam.
Deal. Hey, from the truck to the front doors ain't that far of a run, cuz we can make it happen.
Right, yes, sir.
Right. Well, right on, Zach. Well, thank you, man.
Yep,
Seriously.
thank you. Have a great evening.
I'll
We'll talk soon.
I'll cut this.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.